I've been having an interesting time lately, where there's some contrast and it's there, and then I feel like, okay, I should ignore it, but I keep getting pulled to it, and I realized I had this really clear moment where I realized that I really wanted to get down to that point of where I really, really knew what I didn't want, because I needed to get there to make that jump. And I realized that in trying to ignore it, it was just kind of this nebulous, powerless feeling. But then when I actually broke down to went super specific versus I kept trying to pull myself general, and I realized that if I dove all the way into it and really got down to what it was, then all of a sudden I could see the other end of it. I could see the other end of the pole, and it wasn't that big of a deal.
This is brilliant, and let's chew this over to get the fullness from it. So when you said, sometimes I can see contrast, and we wanted to jump in just for a little bit and say, can you replace that word with choices? Because the way you were using the word contrast, you meant the really, really unwanted.
Or exploration, yeah,
But in the really, really unwanted is awareness of what is wanted, which you can't know without some exploration in the contrast. And that's why a making joyful peace with unwanted contrast really serves you. So you heard us say that, so now say what you said before you heard us say that, because it's the same thing.
Making peace with it and really knowing it and just letting it be what it is, and then taking that jump from it because you have that knowledge.
And what is it? That's what we want to hear from you. What is it? What is unwanted contrast? What really is it?
Expansion.
It's clarity. It's focus. It's deliberate creation. Would you like a camera that doesn't have the ability to tell the difference between light and dark? It couldn't come into focus at all, could it? Mm-hmm. In other words, contrast is good stuff.
Definitely, and it was like this trying to avoid it. It ended up keeping it lingering longer.
You're right on it. You're right on it. So trying to avoid it. Now feel the tension in that. You want to talk about a specific subject?
Not really.
So I want abundance. I don't want absence of abundance. But I don't want poverty, and I don't want debt, and I don't want fear, and I don't want to not be able to do what I want to do, and I don't want debt collectors, and I don't want my parents to be on my back, and I don't want, in that contrast of wanted and unwanted, there's a lot of tension in the unwanted side of that, where if what I want is what I want, and the opposite of it is what I've got, let's say, and it doesn't matter where I am because what I want is what's dominant, then the absence of it just melts into the presence of it. It's like I want wellness, but I've got sickness. And the sickness is unwanted and pervasive, let's say. In the relaxing into where I stand, there is a releasing of resistance which allows the wellness that is rampant now to have its way. Someone says, my vortex is having its way with me. So when you understand that what you want is having its way with you, if not for the resistance that you've got going on, and you find a way to make peace with the resistance because it's part of the process, then the contrast only serves you and never hinders you.
Totally.
Yes.
And it's that moment too of I've really been enjoying being out of the vortex. It's been this weird moment of just realizing wow, this is okay. It's because there was this fear around it. Once I found out, okay, I'm deliberately creating, then all of a sudden whenever I was out of the vortex, it was this intense fear of I know I'm not where I want to be. I know I'm not allowing my source. So then that's even more out of the vortex, because then you're even getting thrown further, But then it's that realization of, okay, this is fine. And there's so much well-being just trying to get to you that it's not that big a deal.
I feel like this is my favorite thing in the world. Not being in the chair, but just in the back of the room, and I find myself hoping, so I'm in the hopeful place, that somehow every day can feel this level of vibration and fun.
You know what you're describing is, we said it earlier, as you are patiently listening to us expressing what you know from inside your vortex, from where your inner being dwells. The longer you listen, the more resonance you feel. And the more resonance you feel, then the more clarity you feel, the more vitality you feel, the more interest in life you feel.
Definitely.
It's what being tuned in, tapped in, turned on feels like, you see.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we have a friend, my lovely lady and I, that hasn't seen us in about a year. And he's always seen auras just naturally. And he just was astonished how clear, and just since we've been doing this and coming to these events. And I've seen also manifestations are coming up, and I want to, looking to be in the most powerful stance with what's showing up. So I want to have a sort of right brain adventure in life, and it's been very left brain so far, logical and working at computers, and it's just feeling that that's what my spirit wants, more right brain things. So I've been deactivating what doesn't align with it, saying it's not an issue. And then I had an inspiration, and I also want freedom and prosperity, and so things got shaken up at the job that I was just deactivating, and I got inspired and looked up another one, and I have an interview on Monday morning, and now, and it was exciting, and there is excitement, and like, wow, look at this manifestation come, but I'm wondering, well, that's not really the full essence of what I'm asking for. A day job isn't the full freedom, but it's closer. It's not as logical. There's more people interaction. It is more right brain. So it's more in that direction. I'm wondering, well, maybe I go into this as a bridge to something else, or do I just hang out and wait for something that's more the full blossoming of what I'm attracting? Does that make sense?
Well, you can always wait for more, because more is always coming.
Yeah.
Or you can dive in and start enjoying what is on your way to more. And the thing that's and the thing that's most interesting about what you said, we were really enjoying the carefully chosen words that you were presenting here. The thing that is most interesting to us about all of this is that you say, I'm really not looking for this day job. And yet you are looking for interaction. You are looking for co-creation. You are looking for expansion. You are looking for relationships. You are looking for inspiration. You are looking to be a cooperative component with other cooperative components. And so to limit yourself by saying, I don't want it to come in this way or in this way or in this way,
okay.
When instead, if you make peace and understand that there is a potential for joyful, uplifting aha moments under any and all conditions. And to hold out for what you consider to be the perfect condition often makes you miss a whole lot of aha moments.
Yes, definitely.
You see.
Yes, and the other manifestation is that, so we've been wanting to create a family, and it was in the flow. I felt in the vortex. I decided, you know what, let's have these doctors and nurses, and let's have them help us. It just, any decision in the vortex is the right one. And on the first visit, the doctor said, you know what, he looked at these results. He says, we are going to write a new chapter in reproductive endocrinology. And it was just amazing and amazing and amazing. And then she's pregnant, and it's amazing. And well, it's still exciting, even if I talk about it now. However, it did end early. And, there's no thing that they say about that, nobody really knows, or science isn't at that place. So the relationship I came to with it was, well, we had a very mixed vibration before, and then it's more and more and more positive, and we have these amazing,
And what do we now know that we didn't know before? And now our expectation is in a different place now.
Well, yeah, it definitely is.
Yes.
And some of the tests are still amazing. He was, they're such poopers, these reproductive endocrinology people. They're so negative, and it's easy to understand why. So just to see somebody like that say, we're writing a new chapter in medical history here, But yeah, so we do have a raised level of expectation. But is that reasonable? Is there a better way to look at that? That, we're just, the spectrum of vibration is getting more positive and there's less of the doubt in
yes,
there?
because it always is. But here's the thing. what it really comes down to is that you have two choices when you are acknowledging what is. You can either accept it as a good thing or tense against it as a not good thing. And what do you think will put you on the path of where you want to be faster? In other words, is there really a choice? And when you couple that with the knowledge that what is doesn't mean diddly squat, that what is the bouncing off place for more, that what is the beginning of the journey, and you get your windshield out of the floorboards and out there looking where you're going, and you begin accepting the manifestation as the emotion that you're feeling, not as the reality of the manifestation of something that you're looking for, then you begin feeling good now. You see, when you interact with the medical community, one of the things that they do avidly and deliberately that is unproductive and unhelpful is that they scrutinize what is to such a degree that they hold everyone in a sort of state of limbo while they continue to point out what is. It is surprising that anyone survives the medical community.
Right.
Because attention to what is so dominant. They want to scientifically acknowledge what is. And so if you will just use the analogy of the windshield on the floorboards and laugh about it and not tense against what is and not tense against those who are all wrapped up in what is and go general in the attitude, and we know that you know how to do this, that all things are possible, and that once you've decided that you want something, it is certainly achievable, and that you don't need anything to happen this red hot minute because you have plenty of time. And this is the thing, this is what this job search really reveals in a really poignant way, is that there is pleasure to be had wherever you are once you decide that that is your mindset. And there's something really off about waiting for the perfect circumstances before I allow myself pleasure. That is backwards of everything we teach. And everything that we teach is, I will find pleasure because I simply desire it, and everything else will be spawned from that. That's the work. In other words, put it into the vortex conversation. Almost everyone says, give me something good to observe and I'll feel good in response. And we say, that's all fine and good if you've got that kind of role going. But how about feeling good anyway, adjusting your vibration to be a cooperative component to what is good, and then watching the manifestation that ensues from that. That's truly what deliberate creation is. And everything else is regurgitation. Most people are creating in a way that we call regurgitation. They observe and they have a vibrational response to what they're observing. And they observe and they have a vibrational response to what they're observing. And fortunately, because there are as many nice things happening around them as there are not nice things, most people keep a pretty decent balance going on. But when you reach a place where you don't need the balance to observe, but instead you decide that you have the power to direct your thoughts because you are on a journey for an emotional manifestation, and you have the ability to achieve an emotional manifestation right here, right now, because you know how to go less specific, general. It was all negative, but it got better, and now you're moving into generally positive. You have the ability to move your vibration into a rockin' and rollin', good feeling vibrational place. You can achieve a manifestation of an emotional shift right here, right now, on any subject in the world if you decide that you want it enough. And there's nothing like something that you don't want that helps you to make that decision. And once you get hold of that, then they will begin writing medical journals around all kinds of people who are doing all kinds of seemingly impossible things. The world is ready to understand that it has a vibrational basis. And the world is ready for those like you who understand the vibrational basis, who are applying yourself vibrationally, which means emotionally, who are feeling good because you choose to, not because something gives you reason to, who are having paradigm shifts, who are creating things that are so outside the box that most people believe and understand, that it is going to make all kinds of people stand up and take notice that this is a vibrational world and that all things are possible.